Now, this next one could get interesting. This next one could get real interesting. We're going to go to the defensive backfield in the NFL, and we're going to talk about Deion Sanders and Ed Reed. And I don't think it takes a rocket scientist to realize which one John's going to be arguing for. Go.
Go ahead, John. Floor is yours.
Well, so I mean, the one thing that Dion had going for him, obviously, they called him primetime for a reason. The dude, I mean, he was all about show. But he didn't just, walk it or talk it. He walked it as well. One of the very few corners that could take away a half the field, because there was just, I mean, there was no quarterback at the time or no offense at the time that was going to throw his way. There was no, oh, hey, follow this side, go to this side of the field or that side, follow a receiver. That dude, he played one side of the field and shut it down, because it didn't matter if it was to his guy or another guy. You threw it to that side of the field, that fool was going to get it. Now, I mean, you could look at it. Yeah, okay, cool. Ed Reed finished his career. He had more interceptions. Okay, yeah. But the one thing Deion did was, again, not get thrown at. So, I mean, he wasn't going to get that many interceptions. But, I mean, obviously, all-pro first team, six. I think he had 6 All-Pros. Defensive Player of the Year. I mean, the guy was legit. And it didn't matter. You weren't throwing his way. And you could go, throw in his ability to return kicks too. That guy was just electric. Played wide receiver, played on all sides, all sides of the field. Didn't matter. The guy was that good. He's one of the best ever to even play that position.
So Ed Reed, John said it, has more interceptions. Ed Reed also has a defensive player of the year, like Deion has. Ed Reed also has quite a bit of all pros. Okay. Ed Reed also played a more premium position in the defense, the safety. Safeties a lot of times is you're lining up your secondary, you're calling out the coverages, you're in the run game, you're covering tight ends, you're covering the slot receivers. Deion great, Darrell Reeves great, but it's easy to play one side of the field. We don't have to leave you. Stay on the left side, don't do nothing. That's all you got to do. Play man to man left side. Awesome job. But when the whole complex of the defense, the safety has more responsibility. Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, 2 of the best to ever do it. If you both will agree, they both will tell you that Ed Reed was hard to prepare for. Ed Reed was so smart; he would make a mistake, knowing who he's playing the next week. Would make a mistake on tape, knowing that they would see it, so they would think that he'd make that same mistake, but then he wouldn't, because he was thinking ahead. I'm going to make the mistake. Brady or Manny's going to see it. And then the next week, they're thinking he's going to make that mistake. Well, the next thing you know, Ed Reed's picking the ball off. Ed Reed's making the deflection, breaking the pass up. He was coverage, the secondary, the leader of the secondary. Ed Reed played on better defenses. Led the Ravens for year in and year out. Talked about, one of the best defenses there is. Blah blah blah. Ed Reed, is a big part of that. Ed Reed might be, some could say, was maybe the best safety to ever play the game. He was also pretty good in the special teams area when he returned punts. I mean, if you guys want to talk about anything, Deion was a better punt returner. But, like you said, Showtime, he's all about show. Ed Reed's about grit, about knocking your face off. One big rip on Deion that you heard in his career, he was not a great tackler. Ed Reed was, because he had to be. He he would come down and hit you in the mouth. He was a very intelligent player, one of the smartest players that Tom Brady and Peyton Manning says that they've ever played against. I mean, more interceptions, defensive player of the year. It's just the more complex of the defense, Ed Reed was more important to his defense than Deion playing one side of the field, because Ed Reed covered the whole field.
John?
No, I was just making sure he was done. Yeah, no, I mean, you could sit there and say, oh, well, as a safety, it's a more, tougher position on the defense, and he's making the calls, and he's doing this, and he's doing that. I mean, somebody's got to do it. But, how you say, oh, yeah, go play half the field and play man-to-man, play whatever, blah, blah, blah. But, I mean, it's kind of makes it a little bit easier on your defense when you don't have to worry about the left side or the right side or whatever side he's on, because I mean, shoot, when you got guys like Larry Brown over here on the other side, Neil O'Donnell's throwing his way and the guy's still picking them off, I mean, it makes it a little bit easier
So
because they know you're going your way.
You're proving my point that the safety is more important, because if they're not throwing at the corner, they're throwing over the center of the field, and they're throwing to the other opposite field, so that safeties have or they coming down, checking down.
No,
There's the slot
that's not what
receiver,
I'm
blah
saying.
blah blah. The safety's in the back scanning. Like I view a safety the same way I view a quarterback, is like
Mhm.
it's
a quarterback of the defense.
like when we're monitoring these computer screens, like they're going, all right, this moving piece here, this moving piece there, boom, 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 boom. Quarterback of the defense, quarterback of the offense, two most important spots on the team.
No, but what I was saying was it was a little bit easier because they knew the ball was coming their way. They weren't throwing Deion side for a reason. So, I mean, they'd have a strong side over here loaded up.
And I will say Ed Reed played against in an era where offenses were more prevalent, offenses were more explosive and threw more. And some of these receivers, bigger receivers, Randy Moss, Terrell Owens, some of these Chad Johnson, stuff like that. He played in an era where that was more sexy, more prevalent, where Deion played in an era where it was still a lot of run, and not he played in some of it, but he did not play in it his whole career like Ed Reed wore, where the passing era was the prevalence.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking two totally different eras there, but I mean, Deion wasn't guarding those scrubs. I mean, you're talking Jerry Rice and Tim Brown and even Michael Irvin. You could say his ex teammate. I mean, there were some dudes out there at wide receiver that he was having
all I heard you say on there was one good receiver, but other than that,
oh yeah, you're saying Tim Brown wasn't an all time great. I mean, just
no,
stop.
That's the guy I'm talking about, Tim Brown. That's the only good receiver I heard your name on that list.
Jerry Rice, what are you deaf? I mean, he's one of the best to do it, but and I say that because, as a Cowboy fan, it's kind of hard for me to say anything about the 49ers.
Because they didn't have to play against Ed Reed. That's why.
Oh, please.
Who is more valuable to their team?
Ed Reed.
That's a tough one because you could say both. But I'm gonna be biased and go with primetime.
If they switched positions, I mean, if Ed Reed played for the Cowboys when Sanders did, and Sanders played for the Ravens when
he did play for the Ravens, but
when Ed Reed did.
Well, Deion was only on the Cowboys, 2 years, John?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so when we're talking about Deion, it's not the Cowboy era. It's
no, we're talking.
It's more
Atlanta,
it's more Atlanta time period.
Oh, I know.
So
trust me, I'm not blind to that.
He went to Dallas when they were already loaded. Like that was their last Super Bowl they won. Like that was their they already had it there.
Man, I have a hard time here because I love Ed Reed. I loved him. I loved Troy Polamalu when they played. I just thought they were so fun to watch.
Was a stud.
Oh my gosh! But you both make great points, great arguments. We're going to go to Grok, and before I pull it up, I'm going to tell you right now, it was extremely close. All right, let's go up here. Deion Sanders is slightly better defensive back overall. Out of 1,000 simulations, 531 is what he won by. Deion Sanders. It says results: Sanders wins with 1 tie and Reed winning 468. These are extremely close. Reed superior volume and defensive player of the year and interception leadership. Keep it competitive. But Sanders shut down corner premium, physical era dominance, and multi-team Super Bowl defensive impact. Tip it slightly in most runs. Sensitivity test. Keep it within 40 to 45 to 60% range for Sanders. Bottom line, Deion Sanders edges Ed Reed as the better pure defensive back due to his unparalleled shutdown coverage and tougher era for corners, elite ball skills, and contributions to more championship defenses. Reed was an all-time playmaker, safety with record interception return production and instincts that changed games. Both are top 10 all-time at their positions and Hall of Famers. The margin is razor thin, and reasonable people can prefer either, depending on whether they value corner lockdown ability or safety versatility more. Here's what they used. Here was a simulation. They used coverage, shutdown ability, ball skills, interception production, playmaking and big plays, tackling, run support, advanced defensive impact, accolades, Super Bowls defensive, team defense success, longevity, peak dominance, and era and physicality difficulty. That's why they broke it down. That was a close one, guys.